guys, we're out here in a kiwi vineyard today, and last week I told you we talk about the different forms of nitrogen. So let's get started. One thing to keep in mind as we go through this is where we have aerobic and anaerobic systems, and that's going to drastically change how nitrogen affects what you're doing. So what is the most prolific form of nitrogen in your soil? It's in the organisms, it's in the organic matter, it's protein right there. All right, so what's the second most important form of nitrogen? It's your inorganic forms of nitrogen. Your nitrates, your nitrites, your ammonium. All right, but what happens when those forms of nitrogen go anaerobic? Anaerobes need that oxygen for the last step in their electron transport chain. So when it goes over, it's going to take that oxygen. It's going to create ammonia. What's ammonia smell like? Yeah, that's right, PU, right? So when you can smell ammonia, what's it doing? It's becoming a gas. It's anaerobic. You've lost all your beneficial organisms. It's not in your compost. It's not in your soil. It's gone. Okay? Now, we need these different forms of nitrogen. If you're growing annual plants, you want nitrates. If you're growing perennial plants, you want ammonium. If you're growing trees and shrubs and perennial grasses, don't put nitrate down on your soil. Bad idea. You're selecting for the disease-causing organisms in your soil. You like fusarium? You like Phytophthora? Go ahead, put some more nitrate down. All right? It's all about balance. You have to have a balance of the different forms of nitrogen in your soil. Now, we need these soluble forms of nitrogen, but we only want them around the roots. What happens when those forms of nitrogen get away from the roots? You get rain, they go down into our groundwater, and then we try to pull them out for our drinking water, and now you've got to pay to clean it up again. Okay, we only want these forms of nitrogen right around our root zone. But wouldn't it be nice if we could take these soluble forms of nitrogen and keep them in the soil and cycle them through in an available form and have the plant use them as it needs? This is where all of your microbial activity, all of your beneficial organisms come into play. Nature has a way of cycling all these things. She's given us the tools. When you work with nature, possibilities are endless.